A stunning performance from Japan helped them knock Norway out of the 2023 World Cup on Saturday thanks to an emphatic 3-1 win. Japan took the lead in the first half before Norway pegged them back, but 2 more goals in the second half saw Japan take the win. They will now go through to the final 8 of the World Cup and they will face off against either Sweden or the USA. Japan sealed a spot in the quarterfinals of the 2023 Women's World Cup with a 3-1 win against Norway in Wellington. Hinata Miyazawa skillfully chipped an ambitious cross from the center of the pitch in the 15th minute which met Norway's Ingrid Ingen, who miscalculated her positioning and inadvertently deflected the ball into her own net, leaving a scrambling Aurora Mikkelsen helpless, and the lack of communication gifted Japan the advantage. Norway responded 5 minutes later with their first attack. Employing straightforward, quick passing, the ball was played out wide to Vilde Risa, who delivered an exceptional cross from the right, lofting it skillfully into the air for Guro Reiten, who powerfully headed the ball into the top corner. In the second half, Norway handed Japan a chance which proved to be costly. Yui Hasegawa's pass in the box was intercepted, which seemed to mark the end of Japan's attack, but Risa gave the ball away directly to Risa Shimizu, whose shot slightly deflected off Ingen and found the back of the net, giving Japan a 2-1 lead. Miyazawa scored her side's third in the 81st minute, dashing hopes of a Norway equalizer. It was a classic Japanese counterattack, a staple they've been known for at this tournament, with Aoba Fujino releasing her through on goal. The 23-year-old is the current top scorer with 5 goals now to her name, putting her as the joint highest Japanese goalscorer at a World Cup. Right at the start of added time, Ikaka Yamashita palmed Karina Sayevic's effort off the line to retain her side's comfortable lead in the final minutes. The Natashiko will now meet either Sweden or the United States in the last 8. Talking point. Japan keep heads after conceding. In the group stages, Japan had a dream run, scoring 11 and conceding 0 goals against Spain, Zambia, and Costa Rica. They showed off different styles of play, preparing differently for each opponent, and their performances pushed them to tournament favorites. Against Norway, Japan faced a new test of conceding their first goal 5 minutes after they themselves had scored. But despite being under no pressure in previous games, they kept their heads and managed to continue to frustrate Norway. Their pressure and press is what ultimately lead to the 2 crucial Norway mistakes. They were patient, persistent, and it ultimately paid off. Futoshi Ikeda has managed to set his team up almost perfectly every single time. He's tactically aware, and has rotated his squad to the point where all but one outfield player have seen the pitch so far. He has seemed to create a culture where everyone knows what is expected of them, and is happy to put in a shift for the team. Plus, his star players being on form doesn't hurt. As for Norway, it's another disappointing tournament for this generation of players, and with tensions between manager and players being made public during the group stages, this may have been Hege Risa's last match in charge. Player of the match. Hinata Miyazawa. She scored the 3rd goal, but Miyazawa put in another well-rounded performance for her team. She was a constant thorn to Norway's backline, and created several chances for her fellow forwards, with 2 key passes in the 90 minutes. She's such a threat with her pace and trickery, and, while it's still early days, is certainly in the conversation not only for the Golden Boot, but for the Golden Ball. Player ratings. Japan. Yamashita 6, Takahashi 6, Kumagai 6, Minami 6, Shimizu 7, Nagano 7, Hasegawa 7, Endo 7, Fujino 7, Tanaka 6, Miyazawa 8. Subs. Ueki 7, Norway, Mikkelsen 6, Bjed 5, Mjeld 7, Harviken 5, T. Hansen 6, Ingen 4, Risa 4, Reiten 7, Graham Hansen 6, Haug 6, Javi 6. Subs. Monum 6, Savic 6, Hegerberg 6, Hort 6. Match highlights. 15 feet goal. Japan 1-0 Norway. Japan get one early. So deserved but at the same time so unlucky for Norway. It's whipped in by Miyazawa, and when Ingrid Ingen attempts to deal with it, she accidentally misdirects it into her own net. Mikkelsen was in a good position to deal with the cross, but the deflection understandably catches her out and she's in her own net as Japan celebrate. 20 feet goal. Japan 1-1 Norway. Norway's first attack leads to a goal, and what a great header from Reiten. It's direct play from Norway, who get the ball up the pitch quickly. Risa's cross towards the penalty box, and Reiten rises highest. It's placed perfectly in the corner, giving absolutely no chance for Yamashita. 50 feet goal. Japan 2-1 Norway. Japan are back in front as Shimizu gets her side's second. It's some poor defending again from Norway, but Japan are forcing them into these mistakes. It takes a bit for it to get into the back of the net as Hasegawa attempts to pass it back, and it's blocked. The ball then ends up to Shimizu after Risa gives the ball away in her own box and the West Ham player takes a shot. It's slightly deflected but it's in the back of the net and the pink and purple shirts celebrate their new lead. 77 feet. How has she missed? So close to a Norwegian equalizer. Graham Hansen does well to evade defenders and get it to Savik, who has absolutely no one in front of her. Her shot is just wide at the far post. She needs to get that on target. 81 feet goal. Japan 3-1 Norway. Japan have their third and Miyazawa has her fifth goal of the tournament. What a run. It's time to perfection as Japan counter, and there was only going to be one end result once she got on the ball. Norway's risk of going more attacking hasn't paid off, and made them more vulnerable. 90+1. What a save. Norway almost have a second, but Yamashita makes a huge save off the line to deny Savik. Huge moment to take the pressure off in these final minutes. Key stats. Japan have scored 14 goals at the 2023 Women's World Cup so far, eclipsing their previous record for most goals at the tournament, 12 in 2011. The edition they went on to win. Ryton's equalizer in the first half was Norway's 100th goal of the Women's World Cup. Only the United States, 142, and Germany, 129, have scored more.